Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. We are seeing more and more images out of western North Carolina showing the devastation left behind by catastrophic flooding. Devastation like this that you're seeing right here. Now, leaders in the area are calling this their very own Katrina. New within the last 2 hours, we've learned that there have been 30 deaths in Buncombe County alone. That's up from 11 deaths Governor Roy Cooper reported earlier today. We have also learned that 2 sheriff deputies were killed in raging flood waters. One deputy was from Macon County, the other from Madison County. Verizon has set up a cellular satellite trailer in Asheville. It will provide limited reception within several blocks of its location, providing some relief for people who have been cut off from contact for the last few days. Now, WRAL is bringing you team coverage this evening with Eric Miller in Asheville with the latest on the storm recovery. Let's start, though, with meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with some showers we're tracking this evening. Anthony.
Julian, I know that's not the news that people want to hear across the state. Thankfully, this is going to remain pretty light. So let's get us over to radar. We just have a couple spotty showers and there were a few thunderstorms pushing through. Where we sit right now, though, here mainly around the triangle. You can see east of Chapel Hill, just south of Durham. These are going to be pretty sporadic here through the rest of this evening. But if you're headed out across the area, I would take the umbrella with you just in case. Even up towards South Hill, some pretty light showers pushing from the west to the east. Also to our south there, just heading into Dunn and Benson if those hold together southeast of Lillington. We get into tonight, those shower and storm chances are going to stick with us and better coverage, though, into Monday afternoon. Here's a look early on our Monday and out the door for that Monday morning commute, Julian. We are looking good. We will time out those additional rain chances, though, through the rest of Monday afternoon coming up here in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. The damage across western North Carolina is severe and extensive. We've heard a lot from Buncombe County, where officials have been giving updates over Zoom multiple times a day. The county's largest city, Asheville, is among those facing catastrophic damage. WRAL's Eric Miller joins us live now from Asheville. And Eric, 3 days after Helene, and folks are still experiencing a lot of problems.
Well, Julian, power, water, roads, cell service, these things all remain issues here, though there have been some improvements in just the last 24 hours. The reason we're live right here, this Town Place Suites in Asheville off of I-240, it's because it's literally the only place our crew has been able to find reliable cell service in the city all day. And even as state and city leaders promise improvements in the coming days, so many residents out there, including those in the city's River Arts District, are left waiting and wondering when this is finally going to end. The French Broad River is down, but it's not out of the River Arts District.
It's the creative sort of heart almost of Asheville.
But that heart is now broken. Receding water is revealing gas leaks running for days. Some businesses swept away entirely. Walls, refrigerators, and more piled up and crumpled.
Losing this place, this is the identity of the town. This is why people come here.
Everything's gone. It used to be a bar over here.
For residents in the area, especially those at the Hillcrest Housing Project, days without basic services are turning dire.
Survival right now.
There's no gas to make it to stores. There's no stores open. It's cash only. The ATMs are down. But there's little babies that have nothing to drink, and we're going on 3-4 days now with no water.
Some now turning to the river itself for help.
Yeah, come down the buckets and getting water and going back up to their house just to flush the toilet.
Business owners like Asheville Guitar Bar's Mark Goldthwait also faced with losing everything.
It's not only months of recovery, it's years.
Now worried about losing even more to looters.
I've confronted somebody already stealing artwork out of the rubble. You know, it's just shouldn't happen. You know, give us a break.
Gas remains scarce in the city, with lines sometimes stretching for blocks.
I can't get home. I haven't seen my kids. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Still have no power. I have no gas to get to my kids. I don't know where to get gas. So there's that.
Now, there is one other looming issue that residents are facing here. For folks who did have food in refrigerators, in freezers, that's all been eaten at this point, or it's starting to go bad. A lot of people around here now left waiting, wondering when that promised aid from the state will be showing up. In Asheville, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
I want you to take a live look at App State's campus right now. You can see some caution tape blocking off some of the grassy areas, but the roads look clear. The school says while residence halls are safe, classroom buildings did not fare well, and they are working to assess the damage. All classes are canceled, and operations at the university are limited through Friday. Governor Roy Cooper and Buncombe County leaders have been sharing updates on efforts to help get communities isolated by floodwaters and damaged roads help. WRAL's Laura Levine shares more on the efforts to bring relief.
This is an unprecedented tragedy that requires an unprecedented response.
Connectivity by phone and by land is the greatest roadblock emergency officials are facing from Helene's wrath in western North Carolina.
Thanks to our staff's work, a previously closed section of I-26 south of Asheville has reopened.
In the latest briefing, Governor Roy Cooper, the NCDOT, and the NC National Guard described how they're prioritizing getting vital supplies and necessities to the mountains.
We were told there's going to be several tractor trailer loads of water coming into our community. So the tractor trailer themselves, I think, getting up Old Fort and getting that I-26 and every other way they can get here has been the biggest holdup.
Officials say 52 systems across the state are without safe water. Asheville and Buncombe County leaders expressed how the need for food and water supplies is dire.
The main part of Swannanoa around the old beacon site is completely devastated. The bridge is, the main bridge will have to be repaired.
Governor Cooper says as of Saturday, crews are now airlifting supplies, preparing to open mass feeding sites, and has worked with cell phone companies to activate emergency resources.
Cell phone providers are working to fix the damage and get stopgap solutions in place, and rapid progress is being made. Restoring communications is critical to saving lives.
Officials ask for patience. However, western counties like Buncombe, where lives were confirmed lost and more than 1,000 reported unaccounted for, these leaders say every second counts.
Our hearts are broken with this news, and we ask that folks give our community the space and time to grieve this incredible loss.
Laura Levine, WRAL News.
All right, we know you still have questions, and so do we. So this afternoon, we interviewed FEMA's Deputy Administrator Director, Eric Hooks, about what kind of federal help is on the way.
We have pre-positioned supplies, both meals and water, to be brought into the area. We certainly understand that cell phone service is problematic in the area. We are assisting the state with assessing the needs of communications in the area. We are also...
For so many in western North Carolina, no food, no water, and no access to the rest of the world.
And there's a lot of people that are just, they can't find anybody.
What limited cell service Jamie Johnson found in Banner Elk, she used to call us to ask for help.
Can they please get us communication? Can they, even if they have to drop food in, we need machines that can clear roads, because the roads, there's just so... Almost every road is impassable.
We took that to the governor. What is North Carolina doing to supply those necessities to people?
Right now, we are sending supplies via air. We're also finding routes to get supplies in. The Department of Transportation is helping emergency vehicles find routes to get around the devastation of the roads.
Landslides slashed fibers and cables. The state is pushing these cell companies to get towers back up while enforcements are brought in. Rivers are still rising from rainwater. At least 10 people have already died.
We have search and rescue teams from all over the country who are in North Carolina helping to find people like that, to help get them to safety. That is our priority right now, to save lives.
People living in western counties stranded in their own homes. Now they're pleading for people to pay attention.
It's absolutely awful.
And that was WRAL's Carly Haynes reporting. Emergency shelters are starting to open up, but people are struggling to get to them because of all the closed roads. Now take a look at this video. A woman named Callie from Asheville shared this with us. You can see her home in the middle of what looks like a dirty river. The good news here, she says her and her family are safe today. And new video from Tampa, Florida shows the widespread destruction from Helene in that area. The storm produced a record-breaking 7-foot storm surge there. Authorities say at least 11 people died in Tampa Bay region there. The local sheriff says they were all in a mandatory evacuation zones. Our coverage of Helene's impact continues on WRAL.com and in the WRAL News app. We have the latest information county by county for those impacted in western North Carolina and the latest updates on officials and from officials on the recovery from this storm.
Connected with the Army Corps of Engineers, who has provided technical assistance.
We are learning it will take weeks or months to repair all the roads. Here's some important information on your screen right now. Homeowners and renters who want to apply for FEMA assistance should go to disasterassistance.gov or call this number right here. We don't want to rush through that number, 1-800-621-3362. With roads in western North Carolina closed, the best way to see the damage is from the sky. WRAL's Grace Holland walks us through what we've seen so far.
Where Helene's wrath ends and rebuilding begins, it's hard to tell. This bird's eye view shows us the puzzle that flooding created. Pieces are missing from this home near Chimney Rock. Once Bankside, what's left sits in the river. The town's iconic Main Street caked in mud. Sure, Helene left these storefronts still standing, but they're soaked and dirty from the flooding. Here, the flood took the road with it. One of many impassable as rescue crews try to get through to homes like this one, ripped apart when the ground gave way beneath it. Just nearby on Lake Lure, boats float between never-ending trees, trash, and mud. And that debris is damming up around the bridges that are still intact. But some bridges, like this one, were washed away by the force of the water. Over in Biltmore Village, streets are still waterlogged. And where it has receded, you can see how the current pushed trucks and cars wherever it pleased. We can see the stack of pieces to this jigsaw. Now the question is, how do we put it back together? Grace Holland, WRAL News.
That is a big question. Today, we spoke with representatives from both Duke Energy and the state's electric cooperative network about the efforts to get the power back on.
We do feel like we'll be able to get most customers back on later this week, and when that is depends on the severity of their outage. But we are looking at a multi-day restoration for many customers.
It's really unlike anything we've ever seen. A heavy rainfall has led to flooding, which has led to landslides and washed out roads in many areas. And so the challenge with that is, in many cases, accessing these areas to begin restoration, to begin assessing damage, and begin making repairs. But we're working hard at it.
2 words for warning customers this evening: stay far away from down power lines and follow instructions carefully when using generators to prevent risk like carbon monoxide poisoning. Our team coverage in western North Carolina continues. WRAL's Brett Neese and Eric Miller will bring us reports of recovery efforts throughout the week to come.